Hello everybody, my name is Marius Matei. I'm program manager of SeedStack. I'm working for the PSA group. And
my name is Adrien Loher and I'm the software architect of SeedStack. And I will present with Marius the solution.
So we would like to show you some aspects about our software development stack, which we built in our context. And I hope you will contribute and you will use this stack after our presentation. So what is SeedStack? SeedStack, it's a full development solution, a full stack. Enable developers and managers to better frame development in their enterprise. So you have a full stack solution, including web development aspects, including backend aspects, but also we deal with how to realize business application code. So we introduce in this solution some domain-driven design aspects in order to better frame application development code. SeedStack also provides a scalable architecture for the developers. So it's an architecture that can be used by one developer from a big organization with a lot of developers. And it's also scalable from technical point of view, because you can compose your front end, you can compose your back end, you can compose your business part with API. And also it's an SeedStack comes with an rich, extensible ecosystem of add-ons. These add-ons are picked up to answer to technical solution, to technical challenges, but also you can add yourself your add-on for a business scope, like translation, like communication protocol, and also for user details. But let's see why we did this this full stack in a PSA group. So we developed for years with the most common frameworks in open source, and we had a lot of difficulties when using these frameworks. Why? Because they are only toolboxes for the developer. They don't have orientation about business code. They don't have aspects about user interface. So in order to avoid these difficulties, which make our systems huge and complex monoliths, they come without standardization for the business code. So the business code was did by each developer as he wanted to do it. So there was no standardization of the business code. We have a very poor usability of our code for the technical libraries, but also for the functional libraries or business code. And also each developer could take its own libraries, its own open source libraries for its own requirements. So we had a huge pool of components in our organization. So SeedStacks come as an answer to a software strategy. So we want to address various business cases, which we had in PSA especially, from manufacturing to trading, from retail to digital banking infrastructure and research and development. And it is now a solution which helps us to better frame development, to give the good standards to developers in order to build their Java web application and also the business code. So I think, Adrian, you can show us some key components of SeedStack.
Okay, so let's take a look at the key components of SeedStack. So the first component is a Java framework, which is used for backend part of an application. It's a kernel plugin architecture. Each plugin has a well-defined responsibility and is there for integrating a specific technology or providing a service. The kernel is here to orchestrate plugins, detect the plugins, answer their request, and start up the whole application. So in the Java framework, you can find core Java technologies like dependency injection, based on Google Juice, for instance, integration with servlet, things like security with Apache Hero, or things like REST resources with JAX-RS. So the second part is the domain-driven design framework, or the business framework, as we call it. It's based on the domain-driven design principles and provide the building blocks to help design and code your business code. So it's you can find building blocks like base classes for value objects, entities, aggregates, or patterns like repositories, factories, and so on. So they are out-of-the-box building blocks that you can use to build your own code, and this framework is very opinionated about how you design your code and how you write these patterns. So it's optional in the framework, but in the stack, but you can. It's strongly recommended to use it, and at PSA, every project uses the business framework. The third component is a UI framework. So it's a web framework based on AngularJS and Require.js. It enables to compose your UI the same way you compose your backend. So you can add feature with just adding a URL in your application. It's based on fragments. A fragment is just a part of an application with module, JavaScript module, CSS, and so on, with a manifest, and you just reference this URL to add it in your application. So based on this composability, we can make end-to-end features and add it in an application with a single dependency or a single artifact in your Maven POM, for instance. You can add a feature that propose Java APIs, REST APIs, and UI in one single dependency. So we use this composability to build add-ons. So we have a lot of add-ons in the official repository, 25 or more, I think. They are the extension of SeedStack. You have add-ons for GPA, GMS, web services, or UI components, and so on. You have also add-ons that are end-to-end features, like internationalization, with UI to manage your keys and translations and so on. So you can really build any add-on you want and add it to the solution. So let's have a look at a typical SeedStack web application. So SeedStack proposes a lot of patterns. You can build web applications, but also REST microservices and so on. So you have a backend part and a front-end part, and everything is communicating through REST APIs. So I think I need to speed up a bit. We have also graphical themes, like what you see here. Those are the themes we provide as open source, but you can build your own in your company and add a specific theme. In PSA, we have more themes for internal needs. So here I have a project generation animated GIF, but I want to show you the real thing in live. So I will generate a project for you from the website. Maybe I don't know if you can see anything, but I will launch the generator. and ask for a web project, fill in some information. My keyboard is not working very well. Okay, so that's okay. That's Maven. So you have a awful log, and then you have a generated project that you can run immediately and deploy if you need. So the small application that we created is just the same as we saw on the diagram, on the schema before. Here you have an application that is working. You have a backend, a front end with a graphical theme, some features, technical features. You can add add-ons like GPA or anything to connect your database, and you can add functional features like translation and so on. So I will go back to the slides. No. Okay. So SeedStack in essence is an integration stack because it integrates a lot of existing software technologies, open source technologies, into something greater than the sum of its parts. It's because it's automatic and it integrates all the technologies seamlessly in your application. You just add some add-on and you are ready to go. SeedStack relies on standards where possible because we are using GSR or RFC where possible, but we can also integrate any technology. It takes from 1 day to 1 week to write an add-on, basically, depending on the complexity, but it's very simple. You just have to make the glue to make everything work together.
So SeedStack is open source since 2015. It has a business-friendly license and opens you the gate to contribute. It's 100% open source. All the 3 core frameworks, the 25 official add-ons, all the tools like archetypes, Maven generators are open source, and also our documentation and website. So people can use this code and can use on their own organization, and they also contribute to our code base. And especially it can be extended with proprietary add-ons without restriction. We come to join a base code of OW2. We bring here, I think, a complete stack with a lot of archetypes like microservices, like REST API, like batches, like web application. These archetypes can be used by projects in order to create their own architecture. This project has demonstrated also benefits, especially in PSA context. It is already used by more than 50 projects, and these are big projects, not very small. And it has also a return on investment, which is very interesting, especially because we have a proven software architecture which is defined and used and reused by all the project, and it is applied, and project take it as it is. We address most of the technical challenges developer encounters when he creates a project. We introduce the domain-driven design in our design and our coding, and this helps business and developers to work together. We also add the capacity, a strong capacity of the components, technical or functional components, to be reused across our organization. And also, there's some real economic gain proven in this context. And I hope I I can talk with you about this maybe later, and you'll come with us to contribute to this project. Thank you very much. If you have some questions.